Hey there everybody. Good morning, afternoon, night, whatever time you're choosing to watch this video. I'm hoping that you're having a good day, and I would love it if this video could help you out in any way. So I'm not quite prepared as much as I have been the last two times. Yeah, just some things caught up to me this week, but I'm still committed, and I am doing these videos every Monday for myself and for the people who are subscribing to the channel or just wanting to watch these videos each week. So I am committed to you and myself in making this happen. So before I address the theme of this video, I would like to tell a little joke. I forgot to do it last week, but I feel like laughing is a very, very important thing to do. A good laugh is a mighty good thing, and rather too scarce a good thing. Herman Melville. So what is the difference between a dirty old bus stop and a lobster with breast implants? Do you know? No? You give up? Okay. One is a crusty bus station, and the other is a busty crustacean. Okay, so the theme of today's show is going to be all about giving. And what that looks like to us, how we go about doing it, and what it feels like when we take part in it. I wanted to focus last week's episode on being thankful, and this week's episode on giving. See what I did there? So I'm not entirely sure why those two things have to be celebrated only once a year, and why not have it be something that we can focus on daily? Why does this have to be a seasonal trend? Why can't we make it a daily practice? I'm not talking about just giving money or material items to those who are in need of it. We're all in need of love and support, and we don't always see that from others. Therefore, we resist or we hesitate doing it ourselves. I was chatting with a guy on the bus the other day, and he told me that there was a woman who had paid him a compliment and just told him that his hair looked fabulous. And he said that that made his entire week. If we all have the power to pay people compliments and give them that gift of making their entire week, why aren't we doing that all the time? The funny thing about giving is that it makes us feel good. There's another podcast that I will link to in the description below. It's another one of those Inspire Nations, which are amazing, and if you haven't checked them out already, please do so. But this one, it talks about a book called The Power of Eight by Lynn McTaggart. So her book focuses on the ability of people in small groups who decide to focus on giving or sending love to others. And in doing so, they see significant changes in their own lives. It's fascinating. Definitely should check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. One of the things that I'm really trying to work on with myself is the act of being authentic. And I feel like that's one of the best gifts that we can give ourselves, as well as others. When we're truly authentic, we're demonstrating to others that it's okay for them to be themselves. There are so much of our lives that we spend trying to fit in or be this ideal, perfect human, which, by the way, doesn't exist, that we kind of lose ourselves somewhere in there. We get used to holding back, not allowing our true selves to shine. So I'm going to let you know 5 things about myself that I might not tell you upon us first meeting, or even let you know after having known me for years, but I want to be authentic with you, and that's my gift to you today. So I've had this baby blankie, or blanket if you want to be grown up about it, since I was born, and I sleep with it every night. It's actually older than me because I think it was given to my mom at the baby shower that she had for me. But it's cozy and comfy, and I love it, and it provides me with a lot of comfort, so I like it. Okay. So another one is that I'm currently in recovery with having issues with alcohol, and I have been 6 months clean and sober, and I'm feeling great about it. Alcohol and me have never really mixed very well together, and I've had off and on issues with it since I started drinking when I was a teenager. I probably have some stories that I could tell you right now that would sound more like nightmares. Don't worry, I won't get into it, but just, that's an issue that I don't always come forth and tell people because it's kind of hard and scary to talk about. Because you get very mixed emotions and opinions from people. So, yeah. But I'm taking this journey through recovery one step at a time, and I'm loving where I'm at with it right now. I'm feeling great. So I used to make movies with my friends growing up back in grade school, and it really, truly made my heart sing. I felt connected with them. I felt alive from being able to get out of my shell. I was a really shy kid. I didn't like to act out. I wasn't super goofy, but as soon as we started making those videos and allowing ourselves to be who we are, that's when it kind of started to ignite this fire inside me that was passionate about just being myself or being goofy or being silly. And yeah, I just loved it. That was something that really affected me growing up. So thank you, Jen and Kelly. That was awesome. I love those times. So another one that I know I'm not alone in is that I've had body image issues my whole entire life. And although I did reach a point in time where I was able to truly love myself and get past judging my body and accepting it for what it was, I still deal with those issues on a daily basis. But don't worry, I'm working at it. Although it might seem that I'm very positive about these videos and focused and driven in accomplishing something or comfortable in putting myself out there, this is quite a scary thing. I am nervous leading up to making these videos. I am nervous while making these videos. And I realize that because I'm feeling those things, that is a sign for me to do this. This is one of the reasons why I know I should be doing this. But it's hard. So I haven't received any stories from anybody yet. Nudge, nudge. Just joking. But not really. So I'm going to dip into my stockpile of stories that I have from our travels. And this first one is a Couchsurfing experience that Carl and I had when we were in Paris. And we had contacted a man named Sam. And he was like, of course you can come stay with me and my girlfriend, and I can practice my English with you, and we could possibly practice our French, even though it was non-existent at the time with him. But yeah, he was more than willing to invite us into his house, and him and his girlfriend were some of the nicest people. They took us out to a pub where their friend was DJing at, and so we got to see a show, which was really cool. We actually had an experience that was unforgettable. I'll probably never forget it. But we went to a pub, and it was like the imagery in my mind is still there. But we walk into this pub. It looked like a bar, but that was actually somebody's house, and they were moving out, and everything was everywhere. So there were records everywhere, posters everywhere, art everywhere. Super eclectic and just funky, and Carl and I walked into that and we were just like, yes, we love this. This is awesome. And so we sit there and start having a beer and start, getting to know Sam, and there were these guys who come in, and you can tell these people had been coming there for years. And we're just kind of sitting there and we're like, do, and these people are kind of like, who are these people? And they walk up to us and start chatting with us. And apparently, it's this very was a very well-established punk bar that had super well-known bands come and play there, like in the punk scene in Paris. And it had been there for years, through the 80s, through tons, 70s, 80s, however long it was there, I'm not sure, but it was like the very last breath of this bar that we got to experience, because it was shutting down. And so there were these older punk guys who were coming in, and they had their hearts on their sleeves and were super sad and just emotional about their spot shutting down. And so we got to see a side of this scene that we would have never been able to see before. Had we come a day later, we wouldn't have been able to see it. It was their last day that they were open. And these guys were super friendly and nice and welcoming, and just, yeah, in their sadness, in their grief for losing their place to hang out, they just were who they were, and very much so in that moment, which was such a cool thing to experience. Yeah, something I'll never forget. So when we were staying with Sam and his girlfriend's name is Laurence, when we stayed with them, they were just super friendly. We talked all about travel. She was from Guadeloupe, which is a small island, and she brought us out these little like drinks and liqueurs, and like made us all these drinks from her home country, which was amazing, and they were super tasty. And we kind of got pretty buzzed that day, which was quite fun. But, yeah, it was just such a great experience. And it was pretty hard leaving the two of them, because they were just super kind. And, yeah. So, they showed us an awesome time there, and I couldn't thank them more. So, thank you so much, you guys. So, my mom did give me a story about a friend of hers who's involved with a charity that helps kids every year who are struggling. They take them into shops, I think JCPenney's, and they get them school supplies, they give them backpacks, they give them new clothes, they give them bikes, they give them sports equipment. It's awesome. It sounded amazing, and that's the exact type of thing that I'm talking about as far as, like, community goes, and people volunteering, people wanting to give back and help others, making that connection where it's not just all about ourselves, it's about helping people. This company is called Lotshaw Helping Hands, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you want to join in. I think it's in the Northwest area. I heard of somewhere in Arizona. I think it started in California, in Caldwell, Idaho. So he gets involved with that once a year, my mom's friend, and she says that it lights him up. He looks forward to it every year. So that's something that is awesome. I love hearing that stuff and sharing it. So go check them out. Link in the description. So I'm not going to be focusing on anything in particular in nature right now, but I do want to give you some homework if I can, and it is get out of the house. I know it's winter, but we are being blessed with some of these nicer days where it is cooler, but if you wrap a scarf around your neck and put on a nice jacket, you can walk outside, go on a path that you haven't taken before, see some beauty that you haven't seen yet. Get out in it and appreciate it. It's lovely, but it's just good for the soul to connect with nature. So do it if you can. So this is a shout out to all artists. I know I featured an artist last week who I knew personally, which is amazing, and I do have a few other artists who I know personally that I could feature in this episode, but like I said, I kind of procrastinated. I took a little too long to prepare for this. Not judging myself for it, though. It happens to everybody. At least I'm putting this video out. It's gonna take me probably hours to edit it because I've been rambling. So, but this message is to you, you artists out there. I want to hear about what you do. I want to see, hear, feel, experience what you do in form of expression through your art. And because there were several of you who gave to me and gave to my GoFundMe page, I want to give back with that money that you gave to me. So I'm going to take $100 of that, and I want to hear suggestions of how I can help the most amount of people with that amount of money. Something personal. I kind of want to get out into Boise. I want to go help in Boise. I'm going to leave a couple links to videos in the description of people doing just that, getting creative with giving back. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions in the way that I can distribute that money and reach the most amount of people, I am all for it, and I'd go out there and film it and see just how giving helps people and myself. I'm sure I'd feel great doing it. So rather than end this video with a meditation or prayer or anything, I want to end it with a daily practice. And it's something that I've been working on personally lately. If it sounds like it could work for you or help you in any way, then take it on as your own daily practice, or just something to be aware of. We all make snap judgments about people, and it's kind of in our nature, whether it be due to environmental or upbringing or just like a primal instinct in us to, see a way for us to survive. It is with us most of the day, and it's just something that we can't help, but we can help it. So when I started noticing these things arise in me where I would see somebody and make a snap judgment and it not be positive, I thought, why can't I just, one, be aware of that snap judgment, and two, change it? Like, consciously just try to change it so I can view people differently. In a way that's positive. I don't want to have a snap judgment that's negative about somebody. It's silly. So what I decided was that as soon as that happens, I'm just going to tell myself, well, I'm going to be aware of it first, and then tell myself, that person's beautiful. I can take it a step further and actually really look at this person and find something about them that I truly find beautiful. And I can acknowledge that. And hey, maybe that be that moment that you step outside of that comfortable zone of just staying silent and judging and say, your hair looks fabulous today. And then, bam, you gave back. You made that person's week. So that's a daily practice that I'm going to be trying. If you want to try it, go for it. Just a suggestion. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. I'm grateful for what I am and have. My Thanksgiving is perpetual. So let's try to make our Thanksgiving perpetual and just keep it going. Thanks, you guys. I love you. I really appreciate the support. Like the video if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like. And share some of your stories. I want to hear stories. I know there's tons of you out there with tons of stories. Tons of them. You want to hear me say tons again? So yeah. Give me a big thumbs up. How do you like my video? Subscribe to the channel. I'm tired. I think I'm going to get a cup of tea. That sounds amazing right now. Cup of tea and a biscuit. Okay. Bye. I love you all, and have an awesome week. Yeah.